right. Good morning, Mr. Butch. First off, let me start off by saying thank you for subscribing to my channel. And I thank you for being a supporter of my channel as well. Anytime someone comes to me seeking advice, I definitely take that as admiration. I'm very admired by that because not too many people these days confide in many, especially when it comes to sharing something very personal regarding their, personal lives and their situations. So just the fact that you did reach out to me and confiding in me to try to assist you with this issue to the best of my ability, that says a lot for what I do. So it lets me know that people are definitely out there listening and they are appreciating my craft. They respect my wisdom and my knowledge. So again, I thank you for reaching out to me concerning your information. Secondly, it took me a while to get back to you because I did go to a concert last night, but nevertheless, we're going to go directly into your situation. So I printed it out because it was definitely you definitely had a lot going on here, and I had to print it out because I need to visually see what's going on. That way I could break each and every um element down, break it down to lowest common denominators so we can see as a whole what you are up against concerning the situation with your daughter. So nevertheless, and the mother of your child. So nevertheless, we're going to go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and read your email. I'm going to stop and pause in between to share my narratives or to give my advice on each and everything as I go along. So we'll go ahead and start with your email. So your email says, okay, so in order for you to understand the situation, I have to start early in the beginning. So in 2010 is when me and my daughter's mom, Miracle, started talking intimately for a while. Everything was great. We were inseparable. I was her first boyfriend and also the man she lost her virginity to. So after a while, her and her family started to argue and go back and forth. I never really understood why. I figured now, looking back on it, she was just at that rebellious stage since we were both young, 18. So as time passes, the arguments get worse between Miracle and her family to the point where she temporarily leaves home. Every time she did this, since we only lived 30 minutes away, walking distance, I could walk to her and make sure she was safe. But she did this a few times, run away, calm down, and then return. But the last time is when things got interesting. Miracle was working a part-time job and had recently bought a car off of Craigslist. So when the next argument happened between her and her mother, she packed up and ran away again, swearing she wasn't going to return. And me being so in love with this girl, I lied to my mother and said I had a job opportunity across town that would provide housing for me. So I packed a bag, and me and Miracle slept in the car for weeks. Then one day she randomly decided she's going back home. Now I was stuck looking stupid because I already lied to my mother. I'm already knee deep in, so I was feeling like I can't turn back. So when Miracle went back home, I stayed in the car, and their family arguments turned into me being the one holding her backs. Soon after me and Miracle found out she was pregnant, I was really happy that she was, even though we were in no position to be having a child. So I searched for jobs. I eventually ended up getting a full-time job at the Chevron gas station, and for a while again, me and Miracle were okay. But I noticed the energy shift because I was still stuck in her car, and her family were now getting along better than ever. And her family is turning what was their issue into now I'm the bad guy. So eventually the gas station ended up not working, and I had to ask my mother to come home, and she denied me, but told me I could go stay with my grandparents an hour away, driving distance at the time. Me and Miracle, we were still together, but it was hanging on by a thread. So I told Miracle that I would distance at this time. Me and Miracle was still together, but it was hanging on by the thread. So I told Miracle that I would have to move away and try to get things together financially. And that did not go well. We argued, but still stayed together. After I got to my grandparents, I immediately began searching for jobs again. Nothing really coming through. Also, me and Miracle weren't talking. She was ignoring my calls, suspecting another man was involved. So as time passes by, nothing really happened as far as a job. And I get a call from my mother's sister in Atlanta. She tells me that she can get me a job in UPS warehouse. So I called Miracle and talked to her about it again. This doesn't go over well. And this is also where our relationship ends. After that, she refused to answer calls. just sounds like she has a family that's going to condone and overlook whatever she does. So you was the scapegoat. They were able to look at you instead of focusing on Miracle being a problem child she's always been. They were able to spin the narratives and make it look like you were the reason Miracle's been that way. And you have some parents that are like that. They're just so diehard for their children. They know they have a child that's always been rebellious, hard head, never listened, and for whatever reason, um, here comes another kid that they're hanging out with, or here comes a boyfriend or a girlfriend, and they start turning up a lot more. They automatically, the parents want to size up the new boyfriend or the girlfriend or the friends. Well, she didn't start doing all this until she started hanging around them and being around them. And the truth is, she's been doing it, but now the parents have someone else they can focus on because they don't want to accept the fact that they have raised a troubled child who does not respect their authority. So you became the scapegoat. They was able to use you as a blaming tool as far as Miracle's behavior and rebelliousness. Then you found out that she was pregnant and you was really happy, even though y'all was not in a position to have a child. So you search for jobs and you eventually end up getting a full-time job at a Chevron gas station. And let's see. And again, y'all was okay for the time being, but the energy shifted because you were still staying in her car, and her family were now getting along even better. And her family is turning what was their issue into now I'm the bad guy. So yeah, that like I stated, that's what happened. This is what happens when you're young, dumb, and in love. You don't see past the moment. As I mentioned earlier, you know, her and her parents have always had this back and forth type of thing. And now that you have left your people, you know, now her people getting along great. And it just goes to show you, you know, you was dealing with a selfish broad from the start. Because when you was on good terms with your people, you know what I mean? Um, when you were willing to leave your mom to be with her, that was her time when she also could have said, you know what, I don't want you leaving your people on the strength of me. Right now, I'm just in my feelings. I'm going through with my family like I always do. You know, I don't want you jumping ship just to be with me. She basically allowed you to jump ship, and that gave her that advantage to be able to, once she saw that y'all was out there struggling, y'all sleeping in the car and all this and that, and she realized, you know what, I really can't do this. You know, I can't be sleeping in no car, you know, struggling in the streets. She knew she always had that advantage in going back home. And she should have been honest with you versus just leaving you when she realized that she was not going to be that dedicated ride or die girlfriend to stay in the streets and struggle with you, knowing that you don't burn your bridge to be with her. So basically, it sounds like you've really been dealing with a brat. And as I mentioned earlier, now her parents, they in a good space, you know, because a lot of the times whenever you go into a dysfunctional situation and you did not create it, you had nothing to do with it. You just so happened fell in love with a person who's in a dysfunctional situation. In some cases, when you get involved with when you get involved with the person that is in a bad space with family, and you thinking because you're contributing your support and your love that person is going to appreciate you, that person is going to love you. But in many cases, in some cases, most of the time, it could very well backfire to now where it brings them actually closer to the ones who they're having a dysfunctional relationship with. You know, she could have, there's no telling what she could have did. She could have possibly lied, and it's a reason why they see you as the bad guy. Now that I think of it, because that probably was her way of not having the accept accountability, because when she ran away that last time and she realized being out there with a car, she in the street struggling, she probably called her people instead of her taking ownership, saying, you know what, I messed up. I see what y'all see now. I was rebelling and not listening to the rules, and now I'm out here filling the phone. No, 9 times out of 10, she played the victim and probably told the people, I didn't really want to be out here, but Brandon begged for me to stay out here and be with him, and this, and that, and the third. She probably put it all on you, because if you didn't do anything personally to that family, to disrespect that family, and from what I'm reading, it doesn't sound like you've ever done anything. Her people are not disliking you for a reason. Her people do not like you, and the reason why you look like the bad guy is because she used you once again as an scapegoat to not have to own the reason why she ran away and rebelled. So that is why her people are probably feeling some type of way with you, because she got you looking like the bad guy. It's not the family that's perceiving you as a bad guy. She got them thinking that that is your fault why she ran away from home, why she been in the streets, even though she already been doing that way before y'all got involved. You try to reason, negotiate. She's just going to find a way to make it difficult. She's been up here calling you deadbeat, which to me is very hypocritical, because it just sounds like to me she's been the one not allowing you to be a part of this child's life the right way. And you have a lot of women that do that. You have a lot of women that will give men hell or high water to be able to have a civil relationship with their child, but they'll turn around and manipulate it, and they'll call a father a deadbeat. And all it is just a form of manipulation. It just sounds like to me this is a very miserable woman, and she does not like peace. She does not like civil situations. You have some people, they love toxicness. You have some people, they love messiness. You have some people that are more at peace with dysfunction than they are with a healthy situation. And it just sounds like to me this has been a dysfunctional female the majority of her life, based on the things that you told me about her childhood, the fact that she's ran away from home continuously, the fact that you left your home when you were not having near as much problems as she was, to the point you burnt your bridge where you was not able to go back, her knowing that she was happily able to go back to her family, not even thinking about the fact that you lost your family to be with her. This woman has a lot of issues. So it boils down to the question in which you're asking me. Should you walk away? Should you walk away? Because basically you reach your breaking point to where you're stressed out, you're overwhelmed. Anytime you have to talk to her about something, anytime you have to encounter her, you already know it's going to be drama. She's not going to make it peaceful. She's not going to allow you to be there in a peaceful manner. No matter what you do, no matter what you try, no matter how much money you spend, no matter how much you try to negotiate, you just have some women out here that are miserable human beings. Especially when they are miserable within themselves. And it just sounds like to me, from what I'm gathering, is that this is a very miserable one. She's very miserable, to the point that a man that was willing to marry her, even he walked away. The man was her husband and a father of her newborn baby, and he walked away. So that man was willing to leave his wife and mother of his child to have peace, because he just couldn't deal with it anymore. And you have men that do it every day. And I had to teach my husband the same thing when it came to his ex-wife. Him, just like you and a lot of other men out here, have tried to reason, try to negotiate. One minute she's in a good mood, depending on what she's going through. She's complying, she's participating. Yeah, no problem if you want to get the kids. Then next thing you notice, the bitch having a bad day, or things ain't going right, or she's at a miserable stage in her life. Now you coming around and you want to have something to do with your child, man. No, my child ain't going with you. No, she can't be with you. You're dealing with a very dysfunctional woman, and it sounds like she may have a case of bipolarism, and she sounds like a narcissist. And I would tell you.